I had made a film in 2005 called Oculus, which is a horror short, and since then have really wanted to get back in the game and make a horror feature. This one was kind of different because we didn't have any money, and I had access to a camera and the cast, and I actually live across the street from this tunnel. So it was about trying to put together a story that used all the available elements that I had. So it wasn't really the normal way to become involved with the project. It was really kind of just seeing what resources were available and trying to put them all together in a way that would make sense. The inspiration for the story was kind of two things. It was the tunnel itself, which has always kind of creeped me out, and I thought would be a really creepy location to set a movie. And the other was that in my extended family earlier that year, we had kind of a tragic and unexpected death. And watching everyone try to deal with that and rationalize that loss and kind of speculate as to what could have happened to our family member, it was really fascinating to see kind of the lengths that people would go to explain the unexplainable to themselves, and kind of the way people try so hard to believe comforting ideas, even if they rationally know that they're not likely, rather than accept a really hard truth, was something that really kind of influenced the script. I didn't really realize how much when I started writing it that was coming through, but looking back after the script was written, it was kind of a way for me to deal with that event in my family, and is certainly kind of indicative of what I saw everybody going through there. In preparing to work on this, I watched a few films to kind of get the rhythm of what they were doing. I watched A Tale of Two Sisters, a wonderful Korean horror film, and I watched Primer, which is this low-budget sci-fi time travel film from a few years ago, particularly for its rhythm and dialogue. It has a very naturalistic kind of dialogue to it. So those films, and films like, I had the cast actually assemble, and we watched the original Ju-on the Curse and Ju-on the Curse 2. We didn't watch Ju-on the Grudge. We just kind of went back to that route, that kind of really low-budget shot-on video Asian horror, and those kind of informed all of us how to approach this from a point of view of minimalism and to kind of maximize the scares while remaining focused on the character work, which is something that a lot of American horror films don't do. So we watched as many films as we could that kind of kept us on the right direction that way. What scares me the most about the J-horror is the way that they start to feel like mythology the more you watch them. It's not just a standalone kind of a singular story. You really get the feeling that you're seeing something that's kind of the cinematic equivalent of a very dark fairy tale. And with Ringu and Ju-on, and particularly with A Tale of Two Sisters, what attracted me to those films is that the movies are so much more about the journeys that the characters have to go on emotionally, and the supernatural elements are really just kind of there to help that journey along, rather than being the focus of the movie. And to me, I think that's something that makes a movie really memorable and really frightening, is when you kind of identify that strongly with the emotions that the characters are feeling. And I think that's something that, particularly in American horror cinema, just is kind of left out for the most part. So that's what excites me the most about those.